A banner year for sugar production, despite getting off to a rocky start earlier in the season due to a deadlock in negotiations between cane farmers and millers over the proceeds of bagasse. That's the state of the industry in very few words. While the present situation remains stable, there is much to look forward to at the end of the 2014-2015 crop. After all, it has been a record spell for everyone.
Indeed, it was a very good crop, a record in many respects. One in terms of sugar produced, of 142,000 tons of sugar, which was above the previous record of 125. So that was, I think, the highlight of the crop. And although we could not perhaps mill all the cane that would have probably been available because of the late start, we still were able to grind more or less the same amount of cane that we did last year.
The bumper crop, according to Ezekiel Cancino, chairman of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, is primarily attributable to good weather. Notwithstanding suitable climatic conditions, farmers were unable to harvest all of what was planted.
At least 80% will be delivered of our production based on the estimation that we were given on November. And well, we had a good weather, which allowed us to have a good quality cane, and also the efforts of the cane farmers who did their best on the quality system on which they manage the harvesting much better, and we end up with a good quality cane this year.
The value of the overall yield will see farmers benefiting from better prices on the foreign market.
We also had a year of good prices, you could say, in terms of the contracts that we had signed. Unfortunately, those contracts expired this year in terms of the price itself, the price that we had fixed for this crop. Beyond this crop, we will be more exposed to the EU market price, which have fallen considerably from the current level or from the prices that we had previously contracted at. So this crop, in a sense, is the last crop at those contracted prices that were above current market prices in Europe. And we also had an opportunity this year to sell into the USA market, and we had also opportunities to sell direct consumption sugars into Europe as bagged sugar.
Payments to farmers will be deferred in 3 tranches, the second installment to be disbursed next Wednesday.
On the second payment, which will be given on the 12th, on Wednesday, we're seeing that the test groups will be good, getting a good second payment, and it is not necessarily what we were expecting. We were expecting at least $2 more. But in any way, it is very good, and I believe that the first test group, who is the highest in quality, it will be getting about $23, if I'm not mistaken, and the lowest one will be receiving, I think, $18. And well, it's very good for the cane farmers, even though it would be much better if we would have delivered all our cane.
This year, the cane price estimate for second payment is $70.45, which is an improvement over last year's final price of $67.52. If we would have started earlier, we would have had an opportunity to have a more regular season, and we will. It's hard to see what will have been the effects of having done that in terms of the quality of the cane in the field, what we would have received at the mill. Certainly, in terms of quantity, we'd have been able to mill more cane, because this crop we went for 24 weeks, which was similar to last year of 24 weeks.
Cancino agrees that had they begun harvesting earlier, farmers would be realizing greater profits from their production.
We would have started the crop on December. We would have delivered more cane. Maybe yes, we would have cane left on the field, but it would be much less than what we have right now.
Now I understand that CIRDE has commenced a survey to determine more or less how much acres of cane remains.
Yes, today they started to survey and verify the cane fields that were reported that was left, and maybe by 2 months we will have let's say an exact number of how much production was left on the cane fields.
That estimate would give farmers an idea of how much additional revenue could have been generated from their cane fields. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.